G'day viewers, my name's Graham Stevenson and I'd like to invite you to come on a journey of creativity and learning and adventure through the series Colour in Your Life. There's an artist in every family throughout the world, and lots of times there's an artist deep down inside all of us as well. So grab your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your aunties, uncles and mums and dads and come and see how some of the best artists do what they do.
Well, hi folks. Well, we are in South Australia in Adelaide and we're in a little town called Gawler near the Barossa Valley. It's a beautiful area and we're spending the day with a wonderful lady, Lee Teusner. Lee?
Hello.
Thanks for being on the show. Now, Lee is in this beautiful studio. I mean, it's quite amazing. So how long have you actually been in this location?
About 18 months now.
It's a fabulous place. And Lee actually teaches a number of people her beautiful methodology of the way that she puts her art together, and it's basically based on divas, isn't it?
Divas, or the inner diva.
The inner diva.
Expressing yourself.
It's amazing. I mean, to get to where you are now, I mean, you came from a theatrical background for a start.
That's right.
And I was just hearing a little bit about your dad before we started, and he sounds like a character as well.
Doesn't mind a bit of fun.
It's amazing. But to get to where you are now is that in the process that you really inspire people to inspire themselves.
I think by learning how to paint something that's beautiful and expressing something within, it just shows people a little bit about themselves. And that's what I find. That's what I find more and more, that the paintings at the end of a workshop really reflect the artist.
Yeah.
So.
And you've got a fascination with the feminine as well. I mean, you've got two beautiful daughters that you paint, but a lot of these pictures are just so subtle and so beautiful in their presentation. I mean, they're non-confrontational. They're women in their moments of reflection.
Absolutely.
And they're putting their makeup on, and it's just fantastic. And it's those images that you teach people to really get in touch with themselves. They're very soulful in many senses. So we're going to go into the studio and start on this process. And it really is. I mean, I love Lee's work. I mean, it really reflects, and plus the fact that I do a lot of feminine paintings myself. But let's head into the studio and we'll get started on this.
Excellent.
Fantastic. All right, Lee, well, I can see that you've already made a start. So what are we going to do now?
Well, first of all, I am going to block in using a quick wash.
Well, let's get some paint down and we'll make a start then.
Okay, so my reference is quite bold and lots of red, so the wash I'm going to use is going to be those sort of colours.
I see that you're using Winsor and Newton.
Yes,
Good.
yes, I do like Winsor and Newton.
It's a great paint.
So I'm just really watering this down into a wash, and I'm also using a bit of gloss medium. This will help set that charcoal so it doesn't sort of run everywhere, but using the wash preserves the under drawing. And I'm just going to go really very big, so I'm not being really precious about this.
So you're not worried about the charcoal drifting into the picture?
No, because we go in and do other layers.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just blocking in this sort of underpainting.
Yeah, you've got another piece which is, the reds, vibrant colours.
Yes.
They're just great, but it's called Dive Into the Magic.
Ah, yes. And, she is very mysterious.
That looks like a great piece, it really does.
Yeah. So that'll do for the red. I may as well use another brush for the white. This is, really won't see much of this white in there, but it does give a bit of just a little bit of a base. And you can sort of pull that other colour through a bit. So
you definitely celebrate the feminine in your work. There had to be an original inspiration towards this. Can you tell me about that?
I think it's just my personality.
Okay.
Such a girl. My dad calls me a princess.
There you go.
I try not to be a princess, but I'm a girl, girly girl.
And your dad sounds like he's a character as well.
Yeah, and Mum's very feminine as well, and I think that all comes through.
Yes.
So now I'm just going to pop down some Naples Yellow Deep. I'm just making a base colour for this carpet area down the bottom here. And I'll also pop in the shadow colour as well. May as well do that while I'm there, which I might just use Perylene Violet underneath the horse there.
And they're like disposable.
These are bamboo plates.
Bamboo, is it?
Bamboo, and they are recyclable, and you can peel the paint off.
That's great, isn't
Yeah,
it?
they're really good.
It's a good idea. Never seen that before.
Getting this washy colour, just trying to make sort of like a peachy colour, but I'm not being precious about it. I'm just going to throw it in. The one thing I try not to do though is leave ridges with the medium.
Now, there was a gentleman many years ago that was an influence for you when you first started your painting career, and his name was Roger.
Yes, he was a dear friend.
He was deaf.
He was deaf, but he was an amazing artist, and we became firm friends.
Yes.
His wife and my mum were good friends, and he just saw something in me and just one day said, do you want to come and I'll teach you how to draw and I'll teach you how to paint? And I'm like, okay. So for a 15 or 16-year-old person, was a bit of an unusual relationship, but it was very special, and he taught me all the fundamentals, which I was very lucky. So I'm just going to pop in that shadow now very quickly. Sometimes runs are quite nice. You might use them, you might not.
You've got a piece called Queen of Carefree. There's obviously some running in that there.
A little bit of drips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you do photograph your own models as well.
Yes. If we do commissions, that sort of thing, we can actually make like a full day of it and have a photo shoot day. It's kind of fun. I've done that a few times. That's really good.
You've got some other really beautiful pieces that I just think are wonderful, and there's Popper's Girls.
Yes. There was another one at the same time called Where Fairies Dream. We actually did a whole photo shoot day. The mum contacted me and she said, can you do me a commission? And she ended up with 2 because we had such a great day and so many beautiful photos she couldn't choose. So she ended up with one for her and one for her dad.
And you've got another commission piece that you've done called Her Bliss, and there's a wonderful story that goes behind that as well.
Yeah. A gentleman contacted me, he saw my work online and contacted me. He thought that the style that I painted would suit something that his wife would love, and she has a piano that she just adores. She absolutely loved it, and it was a bit of a secret mission. She didn't know about it, it was a surprise, so that was pretty special too.
That's wonderful. So do you use any liquid or any...
I use Liquitex. I really like the Liquitex gloss medium and varnish.
Yes.
It just really helps with the blending of the paints. I use acrylic paint, so in this sort of warmer weather, you have to work quite quickly, otherwise your paint dries. There's also a medium that Liquitex do called slow dry blending medium, and that can be quite helpful. I don't use that a lot, but when it is warm and you've got air flowing, it's can be very helpful.
And how would you describe the methodology that you use when you take your workshops and your Diva classes? I mean, how do you teach?
Well, I guess there's so many different ways that you can start a painting, and some people are quite nervous, so we might start a bit easier. If some people are a little bit more experienced, we'll try something different. It's never just one way to do things, and I think that's the beauty about art, is that you can play. You can play, and if it doesn't work, you try something else, and if that doesn't work, you try something else. And it's about, I think the biggest thing is about letting people be free to explore and experiment.
And sort of finding, I think art finds people's emotions and brings out, you know, the memories or their life in many senses. You can sort of see that in the images that they create.
Oh, absolutely. I find that even if people have got a very similar reference, that they can be completely different. It's not just a paint by numbers, it's expressing something within.
And you've got some of these other pieces, they're like these magic moments, the flowers.
Yes.
They really do relate to the female form in many sense. There's that one you've got called Delicate Pearls, that's really beautiful.
Yeah. I don't always have to paint women, I can paint stories.
Yeah.
You know, everything tells a story. I'm just putting in a bit of her, like the under painting of her hair area. The hair won't look like this at the end because we use many layers, but I still like to keep my charcoal under drawing just because it gives me some direction.
Yeah, those dark lines can be pretty tricky. I mean, even when you're teaching, it's a big fear of people.
Yeah.
The piece that you've got behind you called Does She Know?
Yes.
And those dark lines are something that you are confronted on continuously in your classes. Fear and
Yes.
fear of the unknown.
A lot of people say, I can't paint. How could I do your class? I can't paint. But really, I've got such easy and diverse techniques that you can just take them away and make them your own. It's everyone can paint it. All it is a bit of practice and someone to show you exactly how to pull it all together at the end of the day.
And you've also got another piece called Idle Beauty. It's something that I've watched on many occasions. My partner's got long hair, and then just watching a woman brush her hair.
Yes.
It's just a beautiful piece.
Yes. Yes, it's just a very feminine, magical piece almost. It's like watching something that's private almost. Yeah, that's a nice one.
And that is one of your gorgeous daughters.
Yes, yes. So I've just blocked in all of my underpainting, just really quickly, not too precious. And now I've paletted up colours for the next pass of colour. So we're just building layers really. And this pass of colour I will go a little bit more detailed, but I probably will go back in and fix up anything that doesn't go right this time. So I'm going to start with the biggest areas of colour first, so blocking those in and putting some blending and that sort of thing in there. I'll just start with putting in a few of these little folds in the curtain.
Mm-hmm. So how small a brush did you actually get down to in the process?
Well, I like to use a big brush for these bigger areas. Just seems to make it a bit quicker.
Once again, you're not afraid to put the paint down.
No, I'm using a few different colours, just try and get in a little bit of highlight here. And the gloss medium, see how that just blends really nicely?
Yes, it's lovely. And you're not precious once again about going over her arms?
No, because I can do that if I want to.
But you do use your hands?
Yes, absolutely. I use my hands, I use cloth, I use whatever I can get my hands on really.
Mm-hmm. Now, if somebody wants commissions and they would like to do your classes here in Gawler and Adelaide, what is your website address?
It's just my name, so it's leeteusner.com.
There you go, folks. So pop in and see Lee, and you've got a Facebook page as well?
I do, and again, it's my name, Lee Teusner Art.
Great.
And I'm also Instagram, Pinterest, all of that.
Yeah, well, you've got people who can pop in and say hi to you and then
yes.
sign up. And
absolutely. I mean, if you're in Gawler, definitely pop in.
Beautiful area too. It looks like it's got a lot of history here.
Yes, definitely has. So there are like a few things I can already see that I might need to rectify in the last few stages, but at this stage of the painting, I'm not getting too hung up on that. I'm just putting down what I need to put down. So now I'm going to mix up my skin tones and pop in that little bit of skin that we have.
Mm-hmm.
I usually just mix together my primaries, and depending on the reference, she's quite tan, so I'm using a gold ochre as my yellow. Generally just get a feel for the mix. It's usually about a half of the alizarin crimson and the gold ochre, and I can work from there. So I just make up a little bit because acrylics dry so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little touch of blue, just to see what happens there. And that I use as sort of the mother colour, and then dragging in a little bit of white just to see what it does. And then this being the first pass, I just lay it down, and we can tweak as we go. So, and then I just add white for highlighty areas and then blend into that. This is where I'm a bit more particular about my edges and keeping my shapes here. Once you lose a shape, you need to go back in and fix it.
Yeah, and the advantages of acrylics compared to oils is you'd have to wait hours, days for that to dry.
That's right.
This you can get onto it pretty well immediately.
Yep.
You obviously spend a lot of time on your work in the end. I mean, all these base colours are just the beginning
Yes.
bit.
Yes.
You know, when you look at pictures like the tea party,
Yes.
and you can see the detail even in the hairnet of the little girl,
Yep.
and the light on the face of the other lass.
Yeah.
It's really well done.
Thank you. It is those final stages where all the magic happens, that's for sure.
Now, you've got some great offers coming up in the new year where you're literally having people coming in and doing 10-week courses with you.
Oh, that's over, yeah, so that's just locally. If people want to come along, we're going to do some art journaling workshops. That's just, they're a really nice way to practice new techniques, and the art journal is just about being, it's a very private, personal thing, but learning new techniques that you can take then to larger canvas. It's a really great way to learn.
Yes, so I've noticed in your own personal manifesto that you have a Diva Code of Conduct.
Yes, my manifesto.
Yeah, your manifesto for the classes that you put together. One of them being a diva is a state of mind.
Absolutely, it is. I think you've got to make a decision on where you want your life to go and how you want to conduct yourself. And to me, a diva she's the first lady of her own life. I love that. She doesn't take rubbish from people. She is number one, but she also sets an example for the people that she loves by honouring herself and her what she needs to do in her life, whether that be painting, whether that be whatever it is, really.
When inspired, she is a risk taker.
Yep.
Free from excuses, giving up, complaining or negative self-talk.
Yes.
She doesn't know it all. She chooses to be accountable and trusts the process.
Yeah.
Very good. I think that's a manifesto for male and female.
Absolutely. I think you do need a bit of a code for your life, and I think that's a good one. I like it. It resonates with me.
Yes. And I think part of your success is that you are not just a talented artist, but you're a very good businesswoman as well. And I think it's a big part of doing justice to your work.
I was lucky enough to meet someone that was able to help me with the business of art.
Yeah, it's finding a mentor, somebody that's sort of paved the path before you.
Yeah, and you know that they've done it. You can learn from them. And so I was lucky to meet Jacqueline Coates, and we're still good friends. Keep in touch regularly. She's quite a well-known artist.
Jacqueline, yes, I know Jacqueline.
Yes, so she's helped me grow my art business. And I've also travelled with her I used to teach her workshops. And I've travelled with her just recently to New Zealand, helping her over there. And so it's lovely. We have a lovely relationship. It's nice.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, she's very good.
Very good.
Now, I hear that you did some work for your brother on a wine label as well. Tell me about that.
Teusner Wines runs in the family. He has a beautiful winery in the Barossa Valley and is very successful. And he thought that I could do his labels for his Salsa Rosé, and I also did Empress Riesling. And they're beautiful, diva-ish type girls. The Salsa's particularly interesting because I had to do 6 images, and it's like the girl is dancing around the box. So I did 6 dances, and when there's a box of 6, there's 6 dancers in the box, and they're all different dancing around the box. So it was a really good brief.
Wine will do that to you.
Wine will do that to you. So now what I'm doing is I like to use a bit of a dark outline around the image, and so I'm just popping that in now. I don't know where this started, but I just kind of like the effect it gives. It takes a little bit of the realism out of it, and it just adds a little bit of fantasy maybe. I think that's what I like.
All right, Lee, well I might let you work on that for a little while and we'll come back.
Okay, that's great. Well, I've done a little bit more blocking in here. Just thought I might put in some outline and try and just finalise a little bit in the hair area here. So I'm just going to start working with a bit of outline, just really soft. I don't make it a harsh outline, just using a soft hand and black paint. It's all about the softness now. As we start to bring the painting together, it's just about making everything soft and pretty.
Now, one great thing about this incredible space that you have here is you have lots of functions based around art, apart from the workshops.
Yes.
You have these fantastic gatherings and get-togethers from artists all over the area, and I think that if artists in the South Australian and Adelaide area want to be part of this beautiful building that you've got set up in the Gawler art scene and the South Australian art scene, they should get in touch with your website under any circumstance.
Most certainly. I'd be delighted to host any idea anyone's got, really. I'm open to anything.
Yeah, but the space is just incredible.
The space is beautiful. It's a beautiful space. It's got a beautiful feel. It's professional and it's classy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a lot to offer.
It certainly does.
So I'm just pop this little bit of outline in quite quickly, and then I'll go in and start working into the hair using different reds. I've gone in to start with, I've just used quite a dark colour underneath, and then we just go in and lighten, just choose pieces. You've got to work out where the light's coming from and choose where to go light and where to leave dark, and just so it looks, gives the illusion of hair.
It's beautiful. Because of the magic of editing,
Yeah.
we can see the finished piece now, which looks absolutely fantastic. But we've had a great day in your studio.
Thank you.
Lee, it's been fantastic.
It
You're
has
an
been fantastic.
amazingly talented lady. Thanks for having us in your studio, Lee.
It's been my pleasure.
Well, from Gawler in Adelaide in South Australia, fantastic day, Lee.
Thank you, Graham.
Thank you so much for having us in your studio, and as you can see, this really is an amazing place. You do some fantastic things here with the arts. It's just incredible. Also, we'd like to really thank your beautiful husband, Peter.
Yes, I absolutely would like to thank him. He's been so supportive on this journey, and he's a real treasure.
Lovely man, he really is. And your website again, let's talk about that.
LeeTeusner.com.
Yeah, and if you want to go and see Lee about the workshops that she does, plus this building in itself, to be able to come in here and be part of the arts, I think that would be a great idea as well. And you can also come and see us on Facebook and YouTube, and as always at colorinyourlife.com.au, come in and say hi to us. If you want the information, please come and say hi. We love South Australia, Adelaide, beautiful city, but until we see you guys again, remember, make sure you put some colour in your life. Thank you. Bye now. See ya.